Okay, this may be new to you, but in reading the chapter, you probably read that medical expenses include mileage. So we can actually deduct the mileage that we spend or we drive for medical related purposes. So this is a great example, kind of sad, but a 12-year-old dialysis patient, and if you know anyone on dialysis, you know it's absolutely necessary to do these treatments. Now, the dialysis clinic that the mother drives Mickey to is 20 miles one way. So that's 40 miles. And they go, what'd she say, 3 times a week. So let's highlight some of this information. So 3 times a week, let's see, 20 miles, and that's one way. Now there's some more information. On the way home, they go 10 miles out of the way to stop at Mickey's favorite restaurant. That's a total of 40 miles for the day. Unfortunately, that extra 10 miles doesn't count. We just simply subtract it, and we only get to count the 40 miles. But hey, it's better than nothing, right? So just because they go out of their way to go a different way, or they do something different after the treatment, it doesn't totally cancel out the drive. Instead, we just only can simply claim from point A to point B, from home to the clinic for it to be done. Now, most years, it's really simple. We would just calculate, see 3 times a week, and there's 52 weeks in a year. So we would just figure out how many miles in the whole year, and that would be it. And then multiply it by the rate. But every once in a while, as was in 2022, there was 2 rates in effect. So we were given a rate for the first half a year and a rate for the second half a year. And that happens. So I want to teach it to you both ways. Really simple. So let's just kind of do the math for them in general. So if it's 40 miles 3 times a week, so 40 miles times 3 times, that's per week. That means there's 120 miles per week. Okay? 120 miles a week. Now there's 52 weeks in a year. And so if we multiplied that, we would find out that they drove 6,240 miles, total miles for the year. Now, if this was a typical year, you would just multiply it by whatever the rate is for the year, and you would have your total. But unfortunately, it's not that way for 2022, and it probably will be that way in the future as well. There will be a year or two where we have a split, and they were pretty good about doing that split exactly halfway. So what we'll do in this case, we're not going to look at a calendar, we're not going to break it out. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, if it was 6,240 miles for the whole year, then we'll just break this into 2. So 6,240, it will be 6,240 divided by 2. It will be 3,120 miles for the first half of the year, and then obviously the same for the second half of the year. So we'll label these. We'll do first half and second half. Not hard at all. Okay, what we learned is that for the first half of the year, it was 18 cents per mile. And then the second half of the year was 22 cents a mile. So we'll just multiply these out. So let's do first half, 18 cents a mile. Or if we want to keep it in, it'd be 0.18. And that would be 561.60. And then for the second half of the year, $0.22 a mile. So we'll get 686.40. Now what we'll do is we'll add these 2 amounts. Oops, didn't want to use that, sorry. We'll add these 2 up. So 561.60, 686.40. add them up, and that will be the total that I'll get to deduct with all my other medical expenses, 1248 for the year. And so that will go right here with your other expenses. It would go here. Now, if this is our only expense, we'll put it there, but obviously we probably pay something for the dialysis as well, so there might be some additional expenses. So let's just add in there plus more. We just aren't given more information for this problem. So, okay, so pretty simple. We either given one rate for the whole year, and then we could really simply just multiply it and be done, or we've got to break it apart. If you do happen to have a mileage log, you could most definitely have this be more accurate, but this is just fine for the IRS. This would be just fine. All right, if you have any questions, let me know.